changed my life. And so I'm going to start over and welcome everybody since our recording's on now. I'm Janet Kiefer, Senior Presidential Director. Again, thank you all our guests coming tonight and all of our wonderful partners that have invited you. Thank you for trusting them because we love sharing this message. As I was saying, 4 years ago, someone asked if I knew anything, if I heard about this patch, and I hadn't. And 3 years of screaming knee pain left me just a mess. And at that point, I was doing a lot of flying around the country, getting off and on planes. I'd wait for everybody to get off the plane while I struggled, right? So I was really excited when this technology in 4 weeks brought me out of pain. And before I knew it, I was sharing it with people. So we're always very excited to share it with you tonight. And also tonight on our Power of the Patch showcase, we have a wonderful doctor you're going to hear from and a wonderful other senior presidential director, Ann Rowe. But to get us started, I am going to share a little bit about this technology, why your friend said, hey, you got to see this. It's just amazing. And if you're like me, I always get a little curious. Okay, let me get my slides up here. And I'm pretty open to things. I like to know what's new and what's coming because so much is changing, you guys. The world as we knew it even 5 years ago has so many new things. So welcome to the Power of the Patch. We're talking about a patented breakthrough in a wearable light technology. So question, and we're coming up here, but first, I think we'd all agree our health is our greatest wealth. Doesn't matter how much money you have if you're not feeling good. And the symptoms of aging and disease are just not fun, whether you're in pain, inflammation in your joints, you might be not sleeping well, cardiovascular issues, maybe a little bit of depression, just not feeling very energetic. Well, think back. Remember, like in our 20s, and you could work all day and party all night, and your friends would say, they come over like at 11. You want to go dancing? You'd be like, woohoo, let's go. And we'd get up the next day. Well, what they never tell you is the older you get, the faster you're aging and slowing down because of this decline in our body's number one repair system, stem cells, which you might know stem cells well, you might not know them what I'm talking about. There are master cells. This big bar graph over on the left, real high, where we're kids, we were a big giant sack of stem cells. You'd fall out of a tree, scrape your knee. You'd heal like the next day. You could hardly see it, right? Well, no one told me that the older we get, the faster we're aging because of this decline in stem cells. And by age 30, you've decreased by half. We're running around 40s, we're thinking we're fine. Well, by 60, just a little tiny is remaining. Well, no wonder we're getting fine lines and wrinkles. No wonder that energy is like, oh, I just don't feel like going out tonight, right? No one told us this. Your doctor didn't, my doctor didn't. So I finally figured out, learning what I'm sharing tonight, is what I want to be when I get older is definitely younger. And if you had said this to me 4 years ago, I would have been, yeah, right. So I have two questions for you tonight. If you could change just one thing about your health or in the health of someone you love and care for, what would it be? Well, I knew what my answer was. Well, what impact would reducing or eliminating that issue have on the quality of your life? Well, straight out of the gate, to be able to walk stairs and just get on with my life without searing pain would have been just a blessing. And fortunately, someone shared what you're seeing tonight. But before we jump in, the company LifeWave, these products aren't designed to, we're not saying, hey, they're going to heal you, they're going to cure this disease, or we're not diagnosing here tonight. Because you're going to think about it. Now, you're going to go, I wonder if it does this, right? But these really help our body get back on track to a healthier, regenerative state where they can start to heal because the body is now rebuilding and wonderful, amazing things start to happen. And I mean that. So if you could have a safe and affordable, a way to change that trajectory of aging from down here, crash and burn, back to looking and feeling younger, would you be interested? And when my friend shared it, I was like, well, yeah, tell me what you got, right? So good news is tonight we're going to share about the X39 wearable light technology. It's really this breakthrough in holistic wellness and it's patented, cool, inexpensive, like that. It's wearable, love that. We love that it's affordable. I like safe. I like non-invasive. I truly like drug-free. And I really like that you don't have to swallow anything. It's this unique form of phototherapy which uses very specific frequencies of light to increase our whole health and wellness. And if you've done anything like someone had cataract surgery, more and more the medical whole industry is using light technologies, lasers, all these kinds of things. This one, however, supports your body's own innate ability to heal itself. So we're going to show you some really interesting things tonight. I'm going to jump in, introduce LifeWave, introduce X39 here with a quick video.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy. For improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that can support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
So welcome to Power of the Patch. This is based on the science of photobiomodulation. So break it down: photo, light; bio, your body; modulation, it's going to start tweaking things, right? These LifeWave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals. You're hearing a lot about patches these days. I will tell you there is literally nothing in the world like what we're showing you tonight. When it's applied on or near the body, they activate our own body infrared field, our own thermal field. There's nothing going into your skin. There's no drugs. There's no, as one person said, where did they put those stem cells? Nope, it's activating your body. When it comes in contact with the body, they emit very specific wavelengths of light targeting these responses inside the body, which, by the way, you can't feel because it's going to a DNA level. And it turns out our DNA actually emits little tiny micro photons of light that we actually glow at night, which is pretty exciting. Daytime too. And this is really the scientific basis of all the LifeWave phototherapy patches. We have, I think, over 150 patents and clinical studies. There's a lot of science behind this. Welcome to David Schmidt. He's our visionary founder and CEO. I've had the pleasure of being with him many times. He's truly this brilliant scientist and researcher. Right now is saying 135 patents. He said he stopped counting at 150. He's on the leading edge of this whole science of phototherapy research for over 24 years. He's won many, many awards. He's conducted over 80 clinical studies just on the efficacy of our products. And if you think, oh, clinical studies, as David says, they're expensive. Most companies won't do them. Only about 1 in 500 will even pay for clinical studies. So many of the things we just think, oh, we'll take those, we'll swallow them. They haven't really been proven as much as our products. And more, I think David's going to release 4 new studies here shortly. The company's 20 years old. It started in 2004 when David was working with the U.S. Navy SEALs to help them increase their strength and stamina. He founded LifeWave in 2004, and the word got out actually to the athletic, pro, and Olympic community. They started using our patches and were setting new records. We set up manufacturing and international distribution in Ireland, and now these patches are going over 80 countries worldwide, you guys. Tonight, a lot of people are putting on patches. We have 16 global distribution centers and a new headquarters in Draper, Utah, which is just south of Salt Lake City, with this very amazing space age welcome center, which we're going to show you in a little bit here. And there it is. I had the joy of going through it in January. And we are on such cutting edge, you guys, of new technologies. You're going to be so excited this year in 2026 and 27. Amazing stuff's coming. But let's focus right now on you and your body. And we truly are in the business of age reversal. I always say anti-aging is so last century. This is regenerative science, okay? So the little X39 patch we call the holy grail of health healing and regeneration. And what I would say, it's doing what multi-billion big pharma companies have been trying to do for 30 years. They know about this copper peptide. They just haven't been able to package it so they could resell it in the way they do. And when it's used in conjunction with proper nutrition and hydration, you do need water. You need to be drinking water. And we're going to hear more about that tonight with our guest. It has a proven specific copper peptide that the patches are triggering to enhance the stem cell activity. It's altering gene expression towards a really younger, more vibrant you. And honestly, my skin has changed. My whole body's changed over the 4 years I've used it. We have many, many studies, and we're really turning back our biological clock. So, when we've jumped forward and jumped back with daylight savings, you're really going to turn back the aging clock here. So here's what starts to happen. You're using it daily, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Most people say within hours, if not days, I just feel better. I've got more energy. I'm less fatigued. You start sleeping better, which is great because if you're over 50, and especially through menopause, our whole circadian rhythm of the brain starts changing. We're just not sleeping as well. Also, you start having greater sports performance, recovery after exercise. In some people over the age 50 have reported really much stronger, more fit than they were in their 20s and 30s. Well, how? Because you guys think about it. Stem cells are activating bone and muscle. Everything about the body is rebuilding. I've definitely gotten straighter and taller and stronger. We have all kinds of athletes using the patches since 2004 in almost every sport, across pro and Olympic and semi-pro. The patches are out there, and if they are able to use them, they aren't a drug. Pain relief is one of the most wonderful parts of this patch. When you're applying it to the skin, it starts to bring down inflammation and pain, sometimes within minutes. And we love that the pain reduction is helping you to get a clue of what's coming, that you can feel better that quickly. One of the things I love about this is that this patch absolutely affects the brain in a positive level. And you think, well, where do I put it? You can put this patch on your big toe and it's going to positively affect the brain. These are EEG scans of a 77-year-old woman with cognitive decline. The first scan, a lot of inflammation in the brain. They applied X39, and about 3 weeks later, they scanned her, and again at 6 weeks. Look at the decline physically in that brain. We've had lots of reports of memory and focus and cognitive function improving, even in children, even in people on the spectrum, people in depression. This patch knows where to go. Also, wound healing. If you had an accident, did you break something? Did you tear open some part of yourself? Have you had surgery? This copper peptide starts activating wound healing and even scars turn around. So here's where we're going to show you. I have to show you this gentleman down here because he's so dramatic. I've heard BJ talk. He fell through rafters. He broke 6 ribs and he punctured his lung. Not a good day. Here's the X39 patch. It's really exciting that over just like 2 weeks, all that bruising disappeared. That isn't the real story. The real story is those bones healed so quickly in his ribs that he was back to work in 3 weeks. And most doctors will tell you ribs take a while to heal. You see this woman in the center, day 1, day 30, 4.5 months. Look at how her chin's come up. The labial folds went away. That's because muscle's growing back. The skin's getting tighter. Collagen's flooding the body. I myself, my entire face has changed. This gentleman, look at him after just 8 weeks. Look at that clarity in his eyes. The liver's detoxing. And you're going, Janet, I just don't feel anything. Well, it's healing. Evidenced by this little boy, he clipped off his finger in a door. They begged the doctor to stitch it, and the doctor said, look, it's just not going to work. Well, they took pictures, and 2 months later, he's got a fully functional finger with a nail. So if this gets you excited, let me share this story of this lovely woman, Karen, who, gosh, I was so impressed as she took these pictures. She had had radiation on sinuses with cancer in the sinuses. Here's our X39 patch she applied after the treatments, a lot of inflammation. Look at her within about just 20 days, 23 days. Pretty amazing, you guys, right? Look at her by the end of the month. Truly fast wound healing, skin repairing, much less head clearing, her repairing from those treatments. So if this gets you excited, hold on, even more is coming. Would you love to have less fine lines and wrinkles? The skin starts getting flooded with collagen. It's tightening again, it's pulling up. We would say over about 8 to 12 weeks, please take a picture of your face. You'll think nothing's happened. This is why we share the pictures. It's stunning what starts to happen. And what's happening also, not only on the outside, but on the inside. Scars actually tear apart and rebuild into pure, wonderful skin again. That's happened on me. I had a rambunctious puppy with very sharp nails decide my arm was a chew toy and really tore it up. I just put X39 on it, and a couple weeks later, you can't even see anything. So what about hair? So many people I hear anymore go, oh, I have such thinning hair. What's going on? Well, it's part of that aging process without the stem cells. Many, many people by about week 4 to 8 start noticing their hairstylists are going, you're growing new baby hair. Did you know that? Which is pretty exciting. So the X39 patch, as you wear it each day, is doing all these things throughout your body if you'll just give it time. Just give it a little bit of time here. So I'm going to quickly share what people have said about this. Maybe, if it's going to start. Here we go.
X39 has really changed my life. I'm not stuck at home in pain in bed. I'm out here with my friends and enjoying my family.
Big thank you to Lifeway for helping me, helping my family, and helping the 100 people now in our team who are using Lifeway daily and their families. Big thank you. Love the products.
And I have energy through the roof.
I sleep better. I have so much more energy.
Throughout the day, I can focus better. I can concentrate in my work.
Our church worship service lasts 45 minutes. For the last 2 years, I've not been able to stand that long. 2.5 weeks into wearing the X39 patch, the pastor said, you can now be seated. It dawned on me at that moment that, my goodness, I've been standing this whole time, didn't realize it.
After starting using the technology for approximately 2 weeks, my pain completely disappeared.
32 years of pain gone in 3 days.
I just love the products. They just help me to feel younger and younger year after year.
Thank God for X39.
My skin become younger, softer, firmer.
It's been really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
So hopefully this
X39 has really changed my life.
really get you excited. Yes, we have many, many doctors who use the patches. And tonight I'm going to hand over our presentation to the lovely Anne Moreau. Anne is a senior presidential director with LifeWave. She is also a 40-year registered nurse. She's a certified nutritionist. She has helped so many people with this, both in her practice and with LifeWave. And with this, Anne, I'm going to let you introduce our wonderful guest tonight.
Thank you so much, Janet. What a beautiful presentation. That was absolutely fabulous. So yes, tonight I have the privilege of introducing tonight Dr. Cathy Wong. Dr. Cathy Wong, you want to pop your camera on, please? She is a doctor of dental surgery, so DDS, for over 30 years. So she's got a lot of experience and she's been involved with LifeWave for quite some time. Tell me, Dr. Cathy, what was it about LifeWave that really got your attention, that really you kind of went, oh, I want to know more about this?
Well, hello, LifeWave community. I would have to say what I really liked about the technology was being able to maintain my health. That's what my husband and I have been doing for many, many years. We've been doing a lot of supplements. So I know a lot of people do come on with a specific condition, but I don't want to be there. I want to be able to maintain what I have so that you don't have, it's easier to what? It's easier to prevent something than to fix it.
So you were pretty wellness minded already, right? You were
Yes.
already in that sort of mindset. And not a lot of us are, right, Dr. Cathy? Because a lot of us are used to that medical model, the disease model. I like to call it the disease model as a nurse, right? Because we really just treat disease. But this is a wellness technology and a wellness model. Can you share with us a few stories of maybe a client or two that you've used these patches on? And what kind of result did you get?
Well, when we say it's a wellness model, but we also know that, it does take people who want to be healthy into that healthy realm. Okay. So when you hear stories like someone who has been on who has used an inhaler for, a condition for many, many years, and then all of a sudden she tells you one day that she no longer has to use it. Or you hear someone that has a condition and, it could involve, maybe a knee or a leg or an arm, and all of a sudden they're able to function, or they're able to exercise more easily, or they have more energy to do, just chores during the day. I had a gentleman in today, and he said, I usually will go ahead and, work around my house, do all my stuff, and about 2 hours is when I have my limit. He says, but with the technology, the patch technology, I've been able to go on for 4 or 5 hours and I'm not tired.
Beautiful. Wow. Those are wonderful stories. I've had many stories myself. And one of my very first experiences, Dr. Cathy, was truly an eye injury from my own son. And, I had heard that this technology would help with pain, inflammation, a whole bunch of different, things. And so your belief system isn't there yet till you get that experience, right? And hearing about this technology was brand new. I mean, Janet did a beautiful job explaining how this technology works. But when I applied that patch on my son and he was complaining about burning and pain, he had gotten something in the eye the night before. I mean, 20, 30 minutes later, he like turned and looked at us and said, "Hey, it's gone." It was that quick. I don't know of anything that works that quickly. It was simply amazing. So tell me, when you talk to customers or brand partners, what do you tell them they need to do when they're using these patches? What are the key things that are important about learning how to use this technology?
Well, I like to think 3 things. So I tell them that consistency is really important. So when you start using the patches, you have to use them daily. If you skip a day, if you skip a week, then the technology isn't really going to work for you. I also tell them to stay hydrated because as you drink water, everything kind of just moves throughout the body. And that's what you want, that flow of energy. And I also tell them they've got to be patient because not everybody gets a result instantaneously. There's a certain portion of the population that just doesn't feel repair. And then there's that small portion of the population that, like your son, felt something right away. So, the people that don't feel things, they just need to be patient. they'll get their story. They'll get their result if they're patient.
Well, how long does it take? I mean, people always ask that question, right? How long is it going to take me to get my result?
Well, everybody's different. And as I always say, you can't pick the fix. So the body has that list of priorities and it knows exactly what needs to be taken care of first. So if you want your shoulder to feel better, but it says, we need to go ahead and get into that heart, or we need to go ahead and take care of those kidneys, that's where it's going to go to first. It's going to go to an area that's more life-threatening. Okay, but you will get that issue, addressed with your shoulder if you're patient.
Yeah, we've had many stories of people sharing how they weren't getting results. They weren't getting results, right? And then, gosh, they either hit the fourth or fifth. And I had there's one lady that's, one of our partners. It took her 8 months, before, and some people it's been a year before they got their results, but they were like astounded at the results that they got. So yeah, being patient is really an important tip for sure. People wear these 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and they ask, well, why do I have to remove it?
Well, you don't want the body to get used to something. So I had someone explain this in a very easy, way, and she said that when you go ahead and you have a husband and wife and someone's constantly talking and talking and talking and talking, all of a sudden you have one of the partners, they'll go ahead and tune the other person out. Well, it's the same thing with the patches. If you keep signaling the brain to go ahead and do this, do that, do or whatever, pretty soon the brain's going to go ahead and ignore that signal. So you need to give the body a rest so that it can be, fresh again when you put the patch on 12 hours later.
Exactly, right. Are there like contraindications with using this technology?
Well, you know what? The technology has not been, utilized on certain individuals. So you might say someone who's pregnant. Okay, that has to be an individual choice. Someone who's maybe going through some medical issues and maybe they're going through chemo, that again has to be a medical choice. I would consult with your physician because sometimes when you're going through these different modalities, in the pharmaceutical, or I should say in the medical model, the patches kind of just maybe are counterindicated. They just don't do what you want them to do, and then obviously you don't really get the result. So we really need to have you consult your MD or your physician.
Yeah, and we haven't done clinical studies, for example, on kids or on pregnant women or nursing moms. We're not allowed to, right? We're not allowed to. But I can tell you that with my grandkids, they get hurt and they run in the house and they say, ma'am, can you put a patch on? Because they know that the pain will go away pretty quickly once you patch them. So I love having this technology in my toolbox. It's so awesome. So let's talk a little bit about this is, the month about this is a wellness month is when we talk about
Absolutely.
wellness issues, right? And you do oral care. So, chat with us about, when you talk about, wellness and oral care, what are some of the tips you might give the audience?
Well, I always tell people that, it's easier to prevent than fix. So, going into, the dentist to go ahead and just be maintained in general. But you also notice it's easier to fix something small than something big. So if you catch something small, obviously, that's when you want to do that. So, we do know that if you don't take care of yourself in general, other things happen. Well, the same thing with the oral cavity or the mouth. There's bacteria that's just specific to the mouth. And when they do their studies and they find this bacteria in other areas of the body, we do now know that there is a effect. So it does affect the heart. It can affect the kidneys. It can affect the brain. So there's a lot of different diseases that are tied to these different things. So people who can have cognitive problems, people might have heart issues, people can have blood pressure issues. So all these things go together. So when you're healthier in the mouth, you're going to be healthier in the body.
Good point. Good point. Well, thank you, Dr. Cathy Wong, for being here tonight. I really appreciate you and all of the shares tonight. We're going to bring Janet back on. Come on back, Janet.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cathy and Anne. I always learn something every time, and you're so right about the mouth and the connections of the dental nerves to so many parts of our body. And quick story, I just had my teeth cleaned about 2 weeks ago, and they said, "Wow, you have hardly any plaque at all." And I was like, I have a secret. So we're going to round up here tonight. We appreciate you all staying with us. We got one more important thing to share. as you're looking at LifeWave, most of us start wearing the patches, get so excited about the results, and we start sharing it. Most of us started that way. We have a caring heart. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, my friend so-and-so needs this. My cousin needs this, right? Well, because of X39 and the exponential, wellness that it's causing, LifeWave as a company has exploded with exponential growth. And think about it. We're in 80 countries, you guys. Who do you know in Australia? Who do you know in Europe? Who do you know in South Africa? Because we're out there across the world. And from 2020 all the way up till 2024, we went from about 20 million to 400 million. We closed last year in 24 at 600 million. And I've helped start companies. If you get 10% growth, people are like, whoa, that's exciting. We're at 20x growth, you guys. That's a clue. So David has been profiled in the industry direct selling news quite a bit. We have won awards as a fast growth company. And if you're kind of just thinking, maybe I'd like to share that. It's pretty amazing to help people at this level. Well, we'd like you to join us for maybe a plan B. Get the word out on these products because you know what? There's no competition. You're going to hear about patches on Facebook. It's not X39, I'll tell you. Those are things that they put on the patch that are going into the body, where this is the body healing. And we really have this simple success system. Bring them on these Tuesday night calls. Share it with your friends. Give them a patch. We have free websites. We have training and support. Help me get started. But what I loved is it's really a low cost of entry. Buy some patches for yourself. Go ahead, share the story. And then you really are really a huge satisfaction of making a difference in people's life. And I'm being real. When you get a call from people that say, you saved my life, I almost always start tearing up because it really happens. So if that's something you'd like to do, the company is 20 years old, you guys. It's rock solid. It's debt-free. It's owned by one person. You don't have Wall Street in here. It's global, right? And this whole thing, everybody's got stem cells. It just screams opportunity, to be honest. And the company's very generous in their compensation as we share it with people. So you might want to perhaps pay down a credit card. You might want to share these. One of our friends took the whole family on a vacation to Mexico because they could. The company is here to share it with the world, and you can help us get the word out. So as you're knocking down pain, knocking down inflammation, you're growing younger, there's 3 ways you can get started. Get back with the person who invited you tonight. They'll explain all the details. One of the ways, you can just be a retail customer, 30 days of X39, one a day, 12 hours on, take it off, throw it away, put a new one on. There's $149.95. But we know from clinical studies, we know that if you're over 40 or 50, you need some time on them. You really do. So perhaps a better way is become a preferred customer. We drop the price and save you $50. It's a monthly auto subscription for 6 months, but there's no real long-term commitment. Honestly, you need at least 3 months to 6 months. You're going to see these changes. And we have a free 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee. So the best we feel is be a brand partner with us, get paid for sharing, earn a part-time income, a full-time income. And if you're one of those people like, oh, it's one of those things, let me share one thing. This is something we do part-time. I'll share a video, I'll share a patch. People are like, can I see that thing again? You told me about that 2 months ago. I'd like to start trying. It's very much a sharing business and caring business, and I love that about it. We have very generous personal and team rewards. We have training. For many people, you could make a huge difference for them. Pardon me, my phone wants to go off. But by getting paid weekly, right now there are people struggling, especially think of all the layoffs that have happened in the federal government, all the layoffs in retail. People are looking for something, you guys. And what's better than helping their family and friends? We have 3 brand partner kits available. And let me quickly share. You could just come on board, $25. You don't really get any product. You just kind of get in here. What I recommend is this core. It's 3 months of X39 because we know you need that 90 days, right? You're able to have 3 packets come in, put 2 of them in the cupboard, use one for a month, open the next one, give it 3 months. And you're going to save $28.50 over the wholesale price and $154 over retail. So as we say, friends don't let friends buy retail, right? Let's say it's a husband and wife. Let's say it's you and you want to share these with your mom. The advanced pack's going to give you 6 packets of X39. You're thinking, why do I need 6? Well, think about it. 3 for you, 3 for them. And you're going to save $389 over retail price and even another $89 over the wholesale. Premium pack, maybe you're a practitioner, maybe you're a doctor like Dr. Cathy, maybe you're got a chiropractic clinic or massage therapist, or you just realize that this is a huge opportunity because everybody's got stem cells. Get on the premium pack. You get $2,000 worth of product for $1,750, and it's something I did, and I'm so excited to share these. Honestly, tonight, thank you for letting me share because it's such a great story. So we're going to wrap up and let you see this.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. With the energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science. At longevity. At exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being. From the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
So as we end tonight, again, a thank you to Anne Moreau and Dr. Cathy Wong. Thank you for joining us. Get back with the person who invited you. Honestly, what have you got to lose? Pain, aging, being insomniac all night, checking your phone in the middle of the night. And let's help you turn around and get that spark in your step, that smile back. We ask you to take a picture of your face because it's going to change. So we thank you tonight. This is being recorded. You'll be able to share it with your friends. And we just send you off on this March night. We're last days of winter, you guys. We're going to have a spring this weekend. We thank you very much. Take care.